Going live. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Going live. Going live. Plugging in my phone. What the heck, people? There we go. Oh, silly technology. It's great when it works and it's wacky when it doesn't. Hey, good morning, I guess. Kind of morning where I am, maybe where you are. I see Wendy, I see Jan, I see Robin, I see Melissa, I see Judy, I see Evolution Frenchies and Shells and Katie and Lucy and all the little kids out in Kidville, the Who's out in Whoville, and Yvette and German Maid and Tammy. Yay! Look at us, we're here. Happy snow day. Shell, I don't know where you are. Where we are, yeah, we got snow here in PA. Robin, good morning. Scribbles and Cody. And Pam, I don't know if it's Pam and I know. Roxanne just turned in. JC here in LA, awesome. I am hoping that you don't have snow where you are. Okay, New York, yeah, I'm in PA and we have snow. That definitely put a wrinkle in time, or put a wrinkle into my plans for the day. But plans are just that. You make a plan and you hope it works out, and if it doesn't, you practice rolling with it. Right? Okay, Irish Pink. Yeah, I can imagine you guys down in North Carolina are not as used to the cold weather as we are up here. And I say up here, and I also mean that because I am. Okay, yeah, Denise, snowed in Tennessee. Yeah, okay, everybody. Grab your little mug of something cozy and warm. I'm a tea drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker. I love the taste of coffee ice cream, but when I had hot coffee, I was like, that was a bait and switch like nobody's business. So I've got my tea. I've got a couple layers on. I've got my lap blanket, and I'm cozy. Yes, 1 inch at Ohio, but freezing cold. Am I right, people? This is not good. I was on a coaching call this morning with a client from California, where I will be next week, mid next week, and we were comparing temperatures. And she was saying, well, you know, in Palm Springs, it's only like 50 degrees out there right now. And I said, well, it's 24 here. So that's twice as warm as it is. So I will take it. There we go. Hey, so let's do this. Yes, love the smell, can't stand the taste of coffee. Susan Porter, right back at you. German Maid. Hey, if everybody, I don't know if you see, they're noting, sold all my scrapbooking stuff yesterday. 3 more bins gone. I am giving you a Liz Lemon high five, a double high five, a high down, too slow, all that. Yes, Anna, way to go. Let me ask you this, German Maid. How does it feel to have those more bins gone and just having sold that stuff to somebody who you know is going to make some kick-ass stuff out of it? I hope it feels good. Whoops, I just dropped some. I don't know what it was. Oh, you know, it was a chapstick. I'm a chapstick queen. Yes, notice how you can make progress. Does anybody else? I'm just curious. Annalise is saying 20 degrees in Texas. And again, you guys are not, your infrastructure is not made to handle these things. If you have some decluttering celebrations, let's share them, because here's the fun thing. Those of you who tune into my TikTok lives often, and if you haven't met me before, I apologize. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning. I often just jump right in. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, Destination Decluttered, and I show up and do these TikTok lives. I do one-on-one coaching, got a website, an email list. We're doing a free group Zoom tomorrow night. There we go. And what I want to do is encourage you and celebrate the stuff you have done, but more so, or just as equally as important, is to help you with what you're struggling with clutter-wise. Because the way I coach anyway, I have one-on-one clients, and the way I coach is the way I help you deal with your clutter. You can copy and paste that into your other stuff. So I say clutter-wise and otherwise, but we start with the clutter. So German Maid just got rid of some totes of stuff from scrapbooking, sold them, 3 more totes gone. It says, feels great. I dreaded listing it. Notice the dread, but made it easy by 2 picks and sold all together. How can we make it easier for you guys? I only show up in your life to make it easier for you. I so don't want to make it more difficult for you. I hate when things get too difficult, so I keep it easy. Judy Porter, grab a little blanket and wrap it around your little self. 14 degrees in Mississippi? Yeah, Mississippi, that's it. Pam says, my daughter and I got rid of a ton of stuffed animals. Awesome. I know that can be a bit of a struggle because the stuffies can have some sentimental stuff, but at a certain point you kind of outgrow some of them, and to be able to find and pass them along, that's great. There we go. Dr. Amy Miller is saying, yeah, therapist here. How do you feel about therapy? I think it rocks. I think everybody would benefit from therapy. That's pretty easy. I hope you get many people coming to you for therapy. Annalisa is saying, I was able to locate our camp stove, water, flashlights more easily in case we lost power or water. Okay, so notice this. Notice the benefits of decluttering besides it just looking good, but your house functioning well. So that, for example, Annalisa's down in Texas. They're not used to this cold weather, but because she has been decluttering, she's been able to find their camp stove water flashlights more easily in case we lost power. My husband and I did the same thing. I think some of you saw that we had water in our basement, unexpected water in our basement last week, but we were able to easily move things because we had already started decluttering down the basement. So there was stuff that was moved aside. We found the wet dry vac, we found a bunch of rags, stuff like that there. We were able to deal with an unexpected crisis with less stress in our heads and our nervous systems. And boy, if that didn't feel good. I mean, it wasn't fun mopping up water and going, oh crap, what are we going to do with this stuff? But it was great to be able to easily access the stuff that made us help it. Okay? Now, Marlene Pell is saying, and the reason I just want to say this, I will read the questions that people are asking, because when I download these TikTok live recordings and upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube, it helps people kind of follow along. If you're looking at your screen right now, you can see what people are saying. But what I will offer to you is, you don't have to look at your screen. No, you don't have to look at your screen to do these TikTok lives. Go up, and if you feel like it, if you feel like you can do some surface decluttering while I'm talking, put the phone down, turn up the volume, turn up the fun, put in your earbuds, put me on a TV, however it helps you to hear these things. I'm experimenting with the thought of doing a podcast at some point, so you wouldn't even have the excuse to look at a screen because there wouldn't be any. But for now, pretend I'm just a podcast. Pretend you're just listening and you're doing something and puttering around and putting things away. That will help you by the time I'm done at 12 noon Eastern, to say, oh, look, I just took like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Look what I got done. Okay. Marlene is saying, my plan is to declutter 1 garbage bag a day. Okay, Marlene, let me help you with that. Okay, that's why I'm here. Notice that your clutter probably falls under one of 3 categories. Sometimes they overlap, but just think of this. You've got surface clutter, you've got stored clutter, you have sentimental clutter. Notice that the easiest way to fill up garbage bags with clutter is to identify the stuff that's on the surface. And you can identify the surface stuff for 2 reasons. One is that it literally is on a surface. Like it is on like your your floor is a surface, your kitchen table is a surface, your counter's a surface, your desk is a surface. Any horizontal shelves are surfaces. So what's the stuff that's on a horizontal surface in your house that isn't where it belongs? And is it something in turn that you even need? I did a bit of shopping this weekend because we needed to do some things. We needed to get actually another filter for the wet dry vac, since we mucked it up. We mucked up stuff this week, and I realized that I had dumped everything out real quick because he had a wicked busy weekend of all sorts of fun. But I had the receipts kind of just on the top of the washing machine. So I put those strategically, I put them in a drawer that I know if I need to return something, I'll know where they are. That's just an example. But look at your clutter and say, is this surface, is this stored or sentimental? Now, stored clutter is usually the stuff that's behind a door or in a drawer. So it's the stuff that you have that it might look good on the surface, but say, don't go into that room. Don't look in that drawer. Don't open that closet, because God knows what you're going to find. You don't even know. So notice that. Sometimes the stuff that you have that is stored is sentimental, and other times it's just regular stuff that you just haven't gone through. Okay? All right, Linda Moser saying she got COVID. Yeah, you can be ready to jump in, and life will happen. Life is going to happen. And let's roll with it. The way I coach, I treat you. You treat you. Everybody, treat yourself like the wonderful human being you are. Do not expect yourself to act like a robot that goes, through all, whatever. Many of us, not all of us, I'm sure, many of us do not have crisis-related jobs that you have to, by what is it? Hook or by crook, like the thing they used to say about the mail carriers, they would get it to you. But take some time to take care of yourself. All right, Linda, I guarantee as that guy used to say, Paul Prudhomme, little Cajun guy on TV, I guarantee that when you feel better, you're going to do better. You're going to make better decisions when you feel better physically. Right now, can you imagine trying to make decisions when you're not feeling well, when you're not thinking and feeling well? It isn't easy, so don't set yourself up for that. Don't put yourself into decision-making capability. But maybe you can putter around and, I don't know, like if you're just blowing your nose, make sure all your Kleenexes, your dirty Kleenexes, make sure all your dirty Kleenexes are in the trash, like I'm just about to do. So I hope you feel better. There we go. Kelly just says, I went through my jewelry yesterday and bagged up a bunch to give away. See, notice that. I love that. Love that you're saying, this is something I've had for a while. Do I need it anymore? Do I want it anymore? The answer is no. What can I do with it? I know. I can bag it up and I can give it away to somebody. Because this delighted me maybe at some point. Not anymore. That's okay. I can give it away. It makes me feel somebody. Good morning from Albuquerque, Julie McIntyre. I love it. Did you take that left turn at Albuquerque? Okay, Mama Kimbo saying, ideas for jewelry of mother-in-law who passed away that has sentimental or money value. Family has already chosen the ones they want. Yes, I do, specifically. And I have friends from high school that I helped with this that was easy for me because I do this, but they sang my praises. So I offer you this. Wherever you live, get some recommendations. I am all about word of mouth. Word of mouth to me is the most powerful way to get some information from people because, like, for example, if you like what I'm doing and you get the word out from me, you're kind of putting your reputation on the line by giving somebody a recommendation. So I say that because this is what I did with friends of mine. They had some jewelry, they had inherited it, she had gotten some from gifts, and some of it had like real gold and maybe a diamond in it, I don't know. But I said, okay, where you live, is there a jewelry store that you trust, that has a good reputation, that you've heard good things about? None of these fly-by-night, let me come to your house with a scale and a plastic bag, though I guess if you could do that too. But find a reputable place. Ask your immediate circle if they know anybody, because I will again guarantee you that you are not the only person in your circle of friends or acquaintances or people that you work with who's going through the same thing, who's struggling to get rid of stuff that they have or the stuff they donate. Does anybody know of a good jeweler who maybe buys jewelry to resell or to melt down or whatever? Get some recommendations, then get in touch with those people. Now, here's the deal. It may not be a one and done. You could go to those people and they say, well, no, we don't do that. However, we recommend so-and-so. It might take a bit of a journey, but if it's different from bagging up and giving away costume jewelry versus something that if you know it's worth money, why not get the money's worth out of it if nobody wants the value of it in the jewelry? Okay? So get recommendations from people you trust and start a little bit of a search. Don't make it too big and don't overwhelm yourself, but just little steps by steps. My friends from home that I helped with this had a box of stuff, and I said, well, and they said, oh yeah, actually there's a place downtown that I was getting like a bracelet clasp done. And I said, well, next time you're there, bring in the box of jewelry and say, hey, do you want any of this? What's the deal? They literally made $600, $700, $800, $900. That's not money to sneeze at. That's what I call travel money. Boy, is that, could I buy a plane ticket on something other than Spirit or Frontier? And if the answer is yes, then that to me is worth, seeing how much. Okay. So notice that. Oh, actually, I love it. Thank you. People are saying, yes, I would love for you to do a podcast. Yeah. I realized, frankly, I'll share with you my behind the scenes thoughts is that when I do videos, because of the way the internet is, it's very kind of short entertainment, short attention span. When I do these TikTok lives, the lives themselves are longer, but I'm answering multiple questions, so I can only touch on the surface. See what I did there? The surface of some of the things that if I could get more into it, if I could get deeper into it, I know I would provide better help, and I could refer you to those things. So yeah, I'm thinking about that, and it seems like it would be fun. It doesn't seem, it's pretty, my husband's an audio engineer, among other things, so he can help me with that, and it seems like it would be, here's the funny thing, when it seems like fun to me, then I'm like, okay, I will do that. People have said for years I should do it, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel like it. Now I feel like it might be fun. So yeah, stay tuned. If you are on, I will say this, if you are on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, you will be the first ones to find out before anybody else if I do a podcast and get the link, because you'll help me test it and give me, feedback, and we can make it better. Okay? So if you're interested in that, destinationdecluttered.com is my website. Destinationdecluttered.com/join is how you get on the mailing list. Also, if you sign up for the mailing list, and trust me, I'm not getting into the whole, Ron Popeil here, have some steak knives, and now how much would you pay? I'm just going to offer that I do a monthly free group Zoom call. It's kind of like a TikTok live, but we all get on and you can actually ask your questions as opposed to type them. And that happens, let me get my calendar up here. That is happening this coming Wednesday. I was going to say day after tomorrow. The holiday got me all wonky in the calendar. I'm all wonky in the calendar. Tomorrow night, Wednesday the 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Live, no pressure. Why would there be pressure? I don't pressure anybody. Zoom. If you're interested in that, hop on the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Okay? Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Okay. What do we have? There we go. Mary just said, I cleared the countertop and got the kitchen totally clean and organized. Love looking at it. One room done. Boom. Okay. Let's talk about, setting a tub out now and getting seriously started. Yay! Have fun. Yeah, I would say this. You could take jewelry to a consignment store. You want to make sure that the people know what they're talking about. If go to the experts. Go to the experts. If I want to sell something from jewelry, that's a car payment. Is that what people pay for car payments now? But it is. That's like put it towards your mortgage money too. There we go. Barbara's putting her ear pods in, getting a good start. Here, I'll keep you company. You could take jewelry and things to a consignment store, but no, this is where you're going to be better. Start with the experts. I say this from personal experience because I have had things in my life that I think are worth something. And so what do? I take them to the experts that can say, oh, well, no, see, this is sterling silver. This is just silver plate. So this, and then this is sterling silver, but this is white gold, or this is gold. And then you see the difference, and the people who know the value, you will get more money from you, so go to the experts. Some experts may be like, I went to an expert once and he was like he was kind of a jerk. I'll be honest with you. He was like, that table's not worth anything. You should just pitch it and buy one from me. And I said pretty much like, F you. And I left, and the table still worked as a table, and then I got it painted. It was a great story, so I was like, meh. So don't let the person if at first you don't succeed, try again. Find somebody, and this is about coaching too, this is why I show up. Find somebody you feel good about working with. Somebody that seems trustworthy, that's not going to just try to rip you off so they can make money. Somebody who's not going to belittle you and make you feel stupid if you think that there's value in this table that you bought for $50 and you want to get it refinished. Pay attention to the people that you even grace with your presence or dare, if you have any kind of energetic exchange with. And if they are not cool for you and you're, just walk on by. Walk on by. That's what I say. That's what I sing. Good morning. Okay, there we go. Crafter's Corner. How to help somebody that doesn't want to stop hoarding. It's so difficult. Crafter's Corner, me. I apologize. I forget your name, Upthread. But Upthread, there was somebody who was probably a licensed mental health professional, a therapist. This is my take on hoarding. Hoarding is, to me, clutter to the extreme. Clutter that definitely gets in the way of your life and can be hazardous to your life. Also, it is something that usually starts with some traumatic event in your life that you need to, in order to change the hoarding, you need to resolve what's going on the inside that causes you to cling on to stuff. Now, I think everybody on the planet could benefit from some really good therapy, all of us, myself included. That's why I said all of us. However, I really know that when you're in a hoarding situation and the person doesn't want to change, but it could be detrimental to their health, that is when you call in the experts, the people who know what they're doing, the licensed mental health professionals who are trained in how to help hoarders, because hoarding is an official diagnosis in the DSM-5. What that means is that it has been identified as something that has kind of a mental health origin. And therefore, the good news is when people get trained to be mental health professionals, there is training to help people with that. Now, I am a certified life coach, but I do not misrepresent myself to say that I am a licensed mental health professional. I help tons of people every year with their clutter. But I also know when it is above my abilities, and I never want to misrepresent what I do because I want people to get the help that they need. Okay, LBD Jesus Lover gets some mental health help. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, I say it's easy peasy, but sometimes, the best I can do for you is to say, I am a stepping stone. If I say to you, if you're a hoarder, get some mental health help, take the next steps. Is there somebody around me that they can recommend? Can I Google? The neat thing is about this world that we live in is that you may not even need to live near somebody to get mental health help. I coach my clients across the country on Zoom. You may be able to find a hoarding consultant or, therapist who doesn't live near you. Okay, Anna is saying you're so that, yeah, if you're struggling with your mental health, yep. Then you know what, Crafter's Corner, if you won't go to get a doctor and would never get mental health help, you just have to love them. Okay, you just have to love them and meet them where they're at. We all know, all of us, all 120 plus of us, we know how much it is really hard to even change ourselves. And we are inside. We know what's going on. It is difficult to change yourself. It is impossible to change somebody else, especially when they don't want to be changed. So you're just you're both up for frustration. If you're trying to change somebody who doesn't want to be changed and wouldn't do it, I just recommend, instead of judging them or getting mad at them or frustrated with them because of who they are, you practice changing how you react to them, and you just love them despite their hoarding. You give them unwavering love. You don't judge. You show up. You help them when they ask for help. You encourage and offer it, and you just show up in love. Okay? Yeah, Mama Kimbo's talking about a great aunt who grew up with very little. I've got generations of my family grew up with very little, when olders couldn't get rid of anything until memory care. Yeah, that's why I, as a Gen Xer, show up in your life, because we are the generation who is willing to get mental health help, who sees the benefit of getting some outside perspective, who doesn't resist getting a coach or mental health, help professionals. And that's why it's us. We are going to change the world. We are going to stop what happened before us, do something different and change it for us. And then we are also going to be a better example of what to do for the generations that are after us. Like, I always feel like, internally, God, my body's different, but like my body is 58, but my spirit is like 24, 25, 26. I know that some of you are probably parents and maybe even grandparents. Let's not have this holding on to random crap that we bought at Target be our legacy, or leave it for the generations behind us. Let's stop that and change it. Okay? So get some help. Yeah. Yep, it is struggly, but the best thing you can do is take one step forward and do that. Okay? Yep, Anna, if you haven't been to your therapist for a while, make this be the universe, God, whomever, sending you a message saying, maybe it's time today to get back in touch with that person. Maybe it's time today for you to find somebody who can help you with this stuff. Okay? LBD Jesus Lover, do not do it alone. No man is an island. We are not solo creatures. We would perish and die without the help of others. So help yourself by getting some help of the right kind in your life. Don't make the struggle even worse by trying to do it alone. There's no nobility in it. There's no glamour. There's no, all this bootstrap stuff. There's a certain amount of a certain vague amount of that. But a lot of this, we are all here because somebody else took care of us when we were small and little and naked and needed food. And then we get to be this way and being caring for others. There are people out there who care for others, and just get yourself the help that's going to work. Okay? All right. There we go. Jelly Bee, switching gears a little bit because I love this. I've been going through paperwork because we talked a lot about paperwork last year, and I found an uncashed check for $2,000. You're welcome. I love that. That is so freaking awesome. Oh my God. I always am saying, and my clients are like, oh, this is what you talk about when you say that decluttering can be a treasure hunt. You can find literal treasure, okay? You can find literal treasure, money, jewels, like diamonds. I've had people find gift cards and things that they thought they had lost for forever of sentimental value. Cash, checks, anything else of kind of a value while you're going through it. But even if you don't find anything like that, that can be a motivation. But even if you don't, in the meantime, while you're looking for it, when you're sorting through your stuff, you are getting the reward of having your place look and feel better, and you know what you have in your life. Okay? Wendy Rose says, I found money in a birthday card. Picky says, yes, I find things when I clean. There we go. Notice this. So have fun with it. I think it was the guys it was either Ben or Jerry. One of them said, if it isn't fun, why do it? And I've always believed that. My sister has recently adopted that, mantra herself. But yeah, notice that if you don't feel like doing something, if you don't feel like doing something, you're not going to do it. So is there a way that you can get yourself to feel like you want to do it? Like, oh, this might be fun. If I go through this paperwork, which seems kind of boring, maybe there's going to be something that I find in there. And even if not, maybe I just know that what I find is I didn't need to keep all this. I can recycle it. And then what I find is space for me to live and enjoy my life with space to breathe and think. Okay? So notice that. All right. Our daughter, 29, choose things and she loves and wants someday. Now I'm free to release stuff. Yes, have a conversation with the people in your life. What do you want from them? What do they want from you? The more you keep quiet, the more you're all in ambiguousness. My mother and I have had that conversation. I'm getting the china. I don't really want it, but it goes to my house and I'm going to love up on it. Other than that, there's a lot of stuff in my parents' house that my mom's living with that I have no interest in, and she's cool with it. So when she passes away, we're going to make a plan to do something with that stuff. But have the conversation with people. Have the conversation with your people in your house. And you do have any future generations, like my nieces and nephew, as I always call them, nieces and nephew. I am not going to guilt them into wanting any of my stuff. If they want any of it, that's cool. But I want them to feel free. Feel free. Feeling free to release things that don't serve them of mine. Not be guilted into saving it because somebody else used to like it. Okay? Anna is saying, always tell my kids to clean if they can't find something funny when they turn that around on me. There you go. So notice that. If you're interested in signing up for the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join is there. Just wanted to mention that. I'm just double checking here to make sure it works. Looks good. What else? There we go. Mama Kimbo says, you helped me have the conversation with my daughter, and thank you. Yeah. You know what? There is such good stuff on the other side of whatever you're not 100% comfortable doing. In many, not all instances, but in many instances, once you go through the discomfort, on the other side is relief and release and clarity and peace. Because you've kind of gone through that level, of saying, okay, I'm going to have this awkward conversation with my mother. So Ma, like if you die, who do you want us to call it for your, here's the funny thing. I'm from New England, so I can be very direct. Sometimes people interpret that as being rude, but I like to be efficient, but I also know I need to temper that sometimes because I can be very abrupt. But I'll say to my mother, hey, like with all due respect, like if something should happen to you, what friends of yours do you have that you want us to call to let them know you passed away? Now talk about an uncomfortable conversation because you're both acknowledging that mom's not going to be there forever, and at a certain point I'm not going to be. But when you have those conversations, then you have better information and you can act upon it and you feel better. There you go. I love it. Kaylani Laney says, time. Time is what I found after decluttering. Yes, that's the best. The time to do whatever the heck you want, even if doing what you want is just scrolling on TikTok and not feel guilty that you should be doing something else. The space that if you want to, pick up that habit of that hobby you used to enjoy, like painting or drawing, that you make a creative space in your house and a space on your calendar to do these things. German May says, as a German, we know all about direct. Here's the funny thing. I'm Irish. We probably just keep it quiet and then we drink and cry. But I have found that being straightforward, but in a loving way, just clears the air, you know? And Elisa says, I need to live somewhere that direct is best. Yeah, maybe you make it on your own. Maybe you turn where you are, where you want it to be. Yes, the time you also find when you declutter, this is what I help you with, is time not spent trying to find things. Okay? So let me ask you this. Let me kind of flip this back to you. I'm asking you for questions, but I want to ask you a question. Everybody who signed on, and you don't necessarily need to answer it in the comments, but answer it to yourself. If you know, this is the one thing I always get confused about, so maybe you can help me. If you know that decluttering is going to make you feel so much better, it's going to give you time and space and calm and all these good things, ask yourself why you aren't doing it. What comes up and what phrase, if you were to answer me, like if you were to write it in the comments, what is stopping you from either doing the decluttering yourself or, even more important, realizing that you can't do it alone because you're not doing it when you're alone, but what stops you from getting help? You know? So notice that. Okay, so Meet Us at Disney says it's too overwhelming. Overwhelmed. Okay, being lazy, J-Raz, Zivi, don't judge yourself. You're not lazy. Lazy is a judgy word. We don't judge ourselves here, okay? You're not lazy. Maybe call yourself overwhelmed. Okay, feels overwhelming, never ending, too much. Again, that overwhelm. I can help you with that. And I'm not saying that to lead into anything other than when you feel overwhelmed, here is something you can do. Okay? You can do something about that because overwhelmed means you're looking at it too big. You're looking at all the clutter. The antidote, the opposite of overwhelm is to focus down on something. If you look at the entirety, nobody can change the entire planet, but you can change where you are right now. You can focus down. You can look at your whole house and say, well, my whole house is cluttered, but you could right now, in the next 28 minutes, focus on one area, one surface area, and you can do something about this. Focus down. When you chunk it down, what happens is it helps your nervous system to regulate. You get overwhelmed. I can't do it. I freeze. I'm overwhelmed. Shh. Take a couple of deep breaths. Quiet down your nervous system. Calm down your nervous system. And tell yourself this. I can do something about this. And instead of feeling overwhelmed, I'm going to chunk it down. Try it. Even right now, put your phone down and go find a surface and do a few things and put some things away. And look, you just did some decluttering. It can be as easy as that. Kim is working on a drawer right now. Don't allow yourself. Overwhelm is kind of a gut reaction in your nervous system, in your body, in your brain. But use that as a clue. As I like to say, use that as a clue, Nancy Drew. You say, when I feel overwhelmed, it means I'm looking at things too big. When I'm looking at things too big, I'm going to stop, in the name of love, stop doing that. And I'm going to start by calming myself down, by even getting some distance. Oh, isn't that interesting? Yeah. Where do I feel overwhelmed? I'm going to change that. I'm going to change how I feel. I'm going to change how I think. And when I change what I think and feel, until I get to, and then I'm going to do something so it feels like I can do it. It feels like I can do it because it's small and it's easy. And then you do it. That's how you start the decluttering. And you may need to restart yourself multiple times a day, every day for a lot of times, because it's something different and new. But when you start to see the progress, this is one of the reasons why I love life coaching, but I love it from the perspective of clutter, because clutter gives you the absence of clutter. When you're cluttered and then you're not cluttered, it's like an HGTV show. You get to see the difference and you get to feel the difference. Okay? Yeah. So notice this. Okay, Vicky, you say you don't have any family or friends to help? I get videos. I have videos here on the Destination Declutter on YouTube. I show up and do TikTok lives. I do one-on-one consultations, and I do one-on-one paid coaching. If you are interested in even getting a taste of what that's like, get on the mailing list, and there's free Zooms. There is help up there. When you open yourself to receive help, the help will arrive in your home, in your life. And then once it does, what are you going to do? What are you going to take the next step about that? Okay? Overbooked, overwhelmed, Minimize, everything has a spot. Yes, overbooked, overwhelmed. You think opposite. I'm always thinking opposites. Instead of over, think down. Breathe down, slow down, calm down, settle down. All the downs, as I like to say. I actually got I can't even remember what it is, but I made myself a new mug for this year. It was one of my Christmas gifts to myself. It hasn't arrived yet, but it's going to say something about calm down, slow down, all that. So when I get overwhelmed, I can look at my mug and say, oh, that's right. Breathe down and say I can do something about it. Okay? So notice that. Meet Us at Disney is asking, does your service come to Florida? Here's how I roll. I personally go to Florida occasionally. I do everything I do remotely. The coaching I do is on Zoom, one-on-one coaching. The Zoom calls I do with my group, these TikTok lives. So I do not come to you to do this, because what you are struggling with isn't anything that I need to see in your house. It's all up here and in here that's stopping your hands from doing it on your own. So I help you with what's up here and in here, so that to make it easier for you to do these things, you know? If I was standing in your house, I would just be like, what's this thing? Do you want it? If you don't want it, where does it go? If you don't want it, where does it go? It's wicked simple. It would be such a poor use of your money and my time, because it would cost a wicked lot of money to get me to come to your house. If you have a wicked lot of money, we can talk. But I don't want to only work for people like that. I want to help you with this, okay? Yeah, and a lot of it is time management. Yep, a lot of it is, okay, I have the time. Am I doing it? If I'm not doing it, though, if I have the time, even if I say I don't have the time, do I have the time? 5 minutes can make a difference. 5 minutes can take a difference. Okay. Robin is saying, I have packed up so much stuff, but having trouble getting people to come and take it. Do you have specific people who are coming to take it? Follow up with them until they take it or donate it somewhere. All right. There we go. Mama Cambo says, I began with one drawer and one cupboard, day after day, set timer 20 minutes a day. Went longer than I wanted. You know what? Notice that once you get started, you may just keep on going because you're making progress. Okay. Notice this. Annalisa said, and notice the stuff up here. I used to think I could do more in one day. And then I judged myself for letting it get that way. Thinking and judging happens up here, nowhere else. You think up here and you judge yourself, and then you feel it here, and you feel like crap, and then you feel discouraged, and then you don't want to show up. Okay, Robin, if you're physically unable to do it yourself, the wonderful thing is decluttering is a decision-making process. It happens. Decluttering starts up here. Once you decide what you want to happen with your stuff, you can point to somebody else and boss them around and do it. Trust me, my sisters, they say I did that all the time when we were growing up, because we lived in a cluttered home. By any means necessary, okay? All right, yep, 5 minutes can make a difference, okay? Hey, Krista, nice to see you. I hope it's not as freezing cold where you are. It's probably even because you're more north than me. Nice to see you, okay? Yep, see this, Annalisa says, I bet a local church may have volunteers or organizations. Yes, we have a neighbor who lives alone. Her elderly father died. She has fibromyalgia. We help her as much as we can, given our situation, but she has other people she can rely on. If you're resistant to help, you won't see it. But if you say to yourself, I'm open to help, what's out there, you may be surprised at the resources that are available for you. Okay? There we go. All right. I get all my morning chores. Oh, I love it. Jeremy Maid says, I get all my morning chores done while you talk. There we go. Local buy nothing groups. Sounds good. Okay. Yep. See here, Tammy, I love that you caught yourself. I look, even do this. Play with this, you guys. Play with talking about the habits you don't want in the past tense. Like Tammy saying, I used to look at the whole picture instead of individual tasks. Now I am improving. Now I am looking at individual tasks. And don't always focus on the task. But before you even start the task, the road trip, see how I'm moving my head here? And people know, trust me, I'm just pointing to my little road trip. You are here. This is where you want to be. The tasks are the things you have to do to get there. But before you even start to do the tasks, get excited about why you're doing it. Why am I doing these dishes? Well, because I feel good when I see the dishes, the fewer dishes in the sink. It looks nice to me, and I feel a sense of calm when the counters are clean. When the counters are too piled up, I feel frustrated and chaotic in my head. So it helps me to have clear surfaces. I have ADHD in my family, so I grew up in a cluttered environment and piles of everything in doom bags and boxes before doom bags and boxes were even called doom bags and boxes, okay? So I don't show this off. I just say it as a fact. So I know what it feels like to feel overwhelmed by too much clutter, not being able to find anything, somebody stressing out because they can't find stuff, they buy extras, they get piles everywhere. I know that feeling. I don't like that feeling. I want to feel a different way. So I do different things, and now I feel a different way, and now I can help you feel a different way too. Okay? That's what I do this. Okay, I feel like I always do better at the last minute. It's just because that's a habit. It is a habit because you procrastinate because it's really hard to motivate yourself. Yes, somebody asked, pick, are you the oldest? Yes, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest of two oldests, so I got a double whammy. There we go. Carrie's living in New Year, ready to organize and purge. But notice this. Yeah, notice that sometimes you have a habit. I have a client who, through our coaching, realized how much she used to run up to the wire on so many things, and then she didn't feel good about stuff. And it wasn't just, getting ready for Christmas or doing some things like that. We were talking about it yesterday because one of the things I work on with clients is time management, managing your time so that you feel good about what you're doing it, how long you do it, when you do it, and you set yourself up for success. She was saying that, today she's getting a haircut. She hasn't done it for 4 months because she always said, oh, I'll get that done. I'll do it. I'll put everybody ahead of me and I'll get to myself. And so I said to her, well, why don't we do this? Let's talk about it so you can change that habit so that when you go to get your hair done today, before you leave the salon, you know what next time you want to do it so you can book it in advance. And she's like, oh my God, I never thought of that. Like I did. My husband does that all the time. You can stop the habits that I help you. Stop the habits that aren't doing it for you. And then start some habits that will get you the results you want in an easiest, peasiest way. Because I'm all about ease. I don't like to make things difficult or fussy or overly complicated. I want it to be so easy peasy that you just do it so that you have the destination for me is that when you're coaching with me, you learn from me, you practice those skills so you have them for the rest of your life. It's just like driving a car. You didn't know how to do it. You got somebody to teach you who practice it all the time. You do it for the rest of your life. And I want you to do this so you have time in your life to do the things you want to do. Time in your life and space on your calendar so you get to live the life that you want instead of always feeling like you're trying to declutter. Okay? So just notice that. Yeah, there we go. Meet us at Disney said, I'm so thankful you popped up on my FYP. Yeah, so look at the time. There we go. Day 2 of gutting my bedroom. Hardest thing is the sentimental. Yes, they are, Steeler Patty. Do not start with the sentimental. That's like walking into the gym and going directly to the 500-pound weights and trying to lift them up and wrenching your back. Okay? What if all of my stuff is keepable? Well, it's keepable, Anna. Do you like it? Does it work for you? Do you really? Which things? Here's a fun thing. What stuff do you love? And what stuff do you like? And thank you, Catherine, for, see how we all encourage each other here. Catherine staying to Steeler Patty. I understand. Can you set those things aside when you're done with the rest? Yes, that's why I remind people in May. Surface clutter first, then stored, then sentimental. What you may quickly, oh, thank you. Thank you, Krista says, Beth is wonderful to work with. Yes, well, you know what? I only work with wonderful people, so it works out really conveniently. What I want to suggest to you is that what you may quickly find out, I will clue you in on this, that your surface clutter problem may be caused by a stored clutter problem. That when you go, the reason the stuff is out, does this sound familiar? Is anybody resonating with this? That the reason the stuff is out on a surface is because there's no place to put it. There's no, when you go open the door or the drawer, like you have no space to put it, There we go. And so that happens. Okay, so see that happens. So what you have is you don't have room for that. So then you go through. So then we say, okay, stored clutter. There's a process for that. Pulling out some of it and saying to yourself, do I use this right now? Yeah, and especially this time of year, because you probably got some holiday gifts that you never had in your house, so you're trying to work it into what you ever have. Okay? Yeah, no set place. Finding a space. This is part of when I coach people, and I'll tell this, it's how do you want your life, I'm a life coach, so I always am flipping life and home. How do you want your home to look? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel when you're in your home? That's really the most important question. Answer that for yourself. And one of the things we can do is I can teach you how to make it look better and function better so you feel better in your own. That's why I do my coaching, and that's why I do these things, because it's all about feeling better, feeling calm, feeling in control, knowing you can do stuff about things, changing your habits so it's easier to maintain. When you have stored clutter, what you've done is just pushed everything in, pulling out one drawer and saying, okay, do I need all this stuff in here? You dump one drawer out, maybe you dump it out, you have enough time to do it, you set a timer, you match things up, categories, you say, do I really need 17 different iced teaspoons? Maybe I only need 8 of them. So then I whittle down the quantity I have, but I also look at the quality of them. Does this work for me? I know for a stone cold fact that we have a number of those kind of like one-trick pony gadgets in the kitchen that we got as a Christmas gift or somebody gave us as a gift. We don't use them. But we have enough room that I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll put it back there. We don't need the space. So the little sandwich maker thingy sits there, and the little George Foreman grill sits there. We maybe use it once a year. So it doesn't really affect our lives. But if you have stuff on the surface that's on the surface because when you open your drawers, you open your drawers or doors that you don't have anything there, then let's get into your stored clutter. Sentimental clutter, however, is a completely different animal. Sentimental stuff is the fine stuff that teaches, that makes you feel feelings. And so that stuff is going to be a lot more difficult to decide what to do with versus how many kitchen spatulas do I have. But also, I know about that because I'm sentimental like nobody's business. I grew up in a sentimental house. I am surrounded by things that tell me stories. But what I've done is I have whittled down what I have. I realize I don't need to keep it all. I save things that tell me good stories about me and my life and my friends and my family and what I've done and what I plan to do. And I realize I don't need a lot of the stuff because I also keep that in my heart. Okay? So this is what I do with coaching. This is why I show up in your life right now. This is what I'm doing, to encourage you to figure out whatever it is that could take you on the next step. If it's you doing what you know how to do, by all means do it. But if you are doing all you know how to do, but you're still not getting the result you want, consider seeing if you want me as your coach. That starts with getting on the mailing list, starts with, getting on the mailing list and signing up for a consultation. I just added some consultation dates on my calendar, just as FYI, because next week I'm going away. I'm going to be off the grid. But I tried to make as much time of my time available to you so that we can get started by the beginning of February. I work in 10-week packages, 10 weeks, 20 weeks, 30 weeks, 40 weeks, 50 weeks, however long you need me in your life, I will be there for you. And you're doing the best you can with what you have. Skills-wise, what you've learned, what you've been, the way your brain works, you're doing the best you can with what you have. And yes, let's applaud that. But if you're struggling with stuff, there is no harm. Actually, there is harm with not asking for help. So there is nothing shameful or wrong with saying, I don't know how to do this. I want to take some lessons to learn. Again, I always go back to driver's ed. You can see somebody, you can look at a car, you can be in a car as a passenger, you can read books about driving, you can, whatever, like watch videos about driving. You can try it yourself, but man, is it so much more easy when somebody is right next to you teaching you a proven method of learning how to drive. And it's going to feel awkward at first, and you're going to be frustrated, whatever, but you know the feeling of how when you got your driver's license, it opened up your life. And it's just like it opened up your life. Learning how to declutter opens up your life because it's not just about how your home looks. It's about a different way of thinking and acting in the world. Okay? Now I see a bunch of comments, so I'm going to scroll up here and I'm going to get it done. I'm here for like another couple of minutes here, 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 11 minutes, one of those. Okay. Sierra Patty says, you are such a plethora of knowledge. I am a plethora of knowledge. I think a lot. I enjoy figuring out problems. I want to help people. If my brain can help you, here, let's use it. Let's share this brain. That's how I roll. I always, for years, for decades, I could guess, I've always said, how can I help? Who I am, what I can offer, how can I help? Now, I'm not strong, so I can't help you lift the sofa, but I could probably tell you a better way to put it, or, if it's vintage, who you want to sell it to. There we go. What do we got here? I put kitchen things I only use 4 times a year on a shelf in a storage room. Yes, exactly. Noticing how often you use things, and if you only use them infrequently, we're just coming out of the holidays, right? Everybody's got many people, and I would say everybody, but many of us have our stuff that we only use once a year. We don't keep it out in our kitchen 365 days of the year in our house. We pack it away from when we do want it, but we pack it away and we know where it is, and when it is that time to use it, we use it. You're going to notice that about your own stuff. What do I use frequently? Keep that in within arm's reach. The stuff I use less frequently, or for me, when I don't want to eat, when I'm trying to avoid eating the snacks, I will put it in a higher shelf to make it slightly more difficult for me to reach, But anything that you use daily should be in regular rotation, should be within easy reach. Easy reach, not like in a stuffed drawer. I help you with that stuff. I have credentials, but I've just lived this way for so long, and I've transformed my own home and life into one that is so simple to live in that I just have this time that I'm like, I don't even know what to do anymore, because this is just so fun. I guess I'll read a book. I guess I'll walk down and get a coffee. Let me show up and do a TikTok live. Let me help some people with what I have, because I'm feeling good about the amount of time I have and how I spend it. Okay. Yeah, okay. Suzanne, whose dad passed away in 15, mom in 18, and brothers in a nursing home. I have all their things and so much. That is a lot. That is a lot. And my heart goes out to you, because that is overwhelming. That can be it. But what I want you to think of, Suzanne, is you. I don't show up for anybody else except for you. All y'all. My one-on-one clients, I'm not here for your dad or your mom or your brother or their stuff. I'm here for you. And I want you to ask yourself, what of their stuff, if anything, do you want in your home? Legit, love to have, excited to have of theirs in your home. And the answer can be none of it. Mic drop. The answer can be none of it. I don't want any of that stuff. I'm done. I just don't want any of it. Or it could be, I want these few things. Go shopping to their stuff. What's the stuff that really kind of means a lot, makes you feel some feels? Save those. Anything else? Let's find an easy way to get it out of your life. Do you want to donate it? Do you want to give it away? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to have an auction? Do you want to have an estate sale? There are ways that are going to resonate with you as to how you want to remove those things. But I show up to give you permission. I was thinking about permission slips today. It's like, give yourself permission to declare that you're going to make decisions that feel good to you. Because this is the only life you have. This is your home. This is your life. You're going to be not here much longer. All of us have a finite shelf life. We don't know when it ends. So why not start now and make the most of the time you have now and set yourself up different? The stuff you've done for all of your life got you this far. What you know how to do by yourself got you this far. In order to change anything moving forward from being more of the same, you would be helped to learn some new skills and learn, in a way that feels good to you. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Notice that Alyssa is saying my mother-in-law passed and she was a hoarder, and we have a lot of stuff because my husband won't let it go. So he grew up with certain thoughts and feelings about stuff because his mother had certain thoughts and feelings about stuff. Her mother probably had certain thoughts and feelings. We live in a society that people are affected by scarcity, abundance, lack of things, too much, and also a capitalistic society that encourages us to buy things to make us feel better. And sometimes that works. I'm human. I'll buy something to make me feel better. But sometimes it doesn't. When it's too much, it can not feel good. So let's do something to make you feel good. There we go. Mary says, I've decided I cannot use daily use areas to work on paperwork. Yeah, find a place that makes sense to you, the way your house is going up, the way your brain is, to find a system that works for you, and I can help with that. There we go. When my dad passed, all my sibs and I wanted was pictures, things we did in him or things he'd made. Yeah, notice the stuff you want, and it can be very little of it. Release yourself from the guilt. Everybody, if I could wave a magic wand, I am actually. Pretend I'm waving a magic wand right now. Bing! You no longer have guilt about anything in your life. You don't have a hang-up about releasing things that just don't do it for you. Bing! No guilt. How does that feel? I love it. Because guilt gets you hanging on to stuff you don't want. Thoughts, habits, feelings, people, clothing, whatever. Okay? Okay, Danny Tooth is saying, how do you get rid of the ADHD doom piles? That's what I need help with. Yeah, this is what you do. The doom piles. For anybody who doesn't know, see, I'm conversant in. I speak the ADHD lingo because I grew up with it. Doom didn't organize, only moved. The thought behind that is, I can't deal with it now, so I will put it in this box or bag. I will deal with it later. So bust yourself on that lovingly, of course, because all we do is lovingly, is pick one of them out. Get one pile and say, later is now. I'm dealing with this now. Set your timer. Timers are your big friend. If you have ADHD, use a timer. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Go through one doom pile and categorize things. Categories. What is this? Oh, these are my bills I have to pay. These are the bills that I paid. These are the receipts from something. Whatever it is, put things spread apart. This is what you do with stored clutter. It goes from small and disorganized. You need to spread it out to see what it is, and then go, you know what I mean? Then go through it. Chunk it down into smaller things. Okay? Yeah, like items with like items. I used to work retail management and visual merchandising, like items together. It's like a standard practice in so many places. So put your like items together and then make a decision of them. There we go. Lucy says, I sort my doom piles out by what room it needs to go in. That's a help. And then you go into that room and then you make a decision. Do that. Yeah, once you start, Gina says, once you start, keep going, then it becomes a habit of changing your ways. Yes, sometimes the hardest part is just starting. I help you with that. Yeah, Mama Kimbo, open the mail, folder to pay, spread the rest as I open. Everybody's got a way that works for them. What I want you to say is, if what I'm doing isn't working, let me try something different. I want to be open to try something different. And not just different for different sake, but I am all about efficiency and ease and simplicity and just the fewer steps in doing something, the better. I was working with a client just yesterday morning, and we were talking about the fact that filing things in an organized fashion, how often have you looked back at the things that you filed last year, the year before, the year before? I suggest it's probably very infrequent. And so instead of getting everything signed up on the off chance that you're going to ever once need to look at it, put everything in a box that says 2024 after you've dealt with it, after it's no longer something that makes you take action, but you're just storing it. Lindsay Cara is saying, just throw things away. I need permission to throw away perfectly good things. Here's where I will temper my permission to you is, instead of throwing it away, before you go from where it is to a trash barrel, is there some place you can donate it? Because there may be somebody out in the world, and I'm not saying go help, but is there a simple, easy place for you where you live to give away? Not throw away, instead throw, but give away perfectly good things. I am lucky. I live in a place, and I used to thrift. I used to be on the other end of this. And man, did I get some good stuff by thrifting. So I ask you, is there a place around you that you can donate those things? And if the answer is yes, I suggest you donate them. If it's perfectly good, you don't need it, but somebody else may be absolutely thrilled to be able to get what you have at a fraction of the price because it's at a thrift store. Or put a table outside and put free on it. My husband and I have done that so often, it's comical, but we have less stuff in our house because of it, and somebody always comes to pick it up. Okay? Yeah, donate or sell. If sell seems too arduous, donating is where it's at. Okay? All right. Here's the Mama Kimbo. You have taught me so much. Oh, love, you know what? I'm here. This is why I show up. I want you to start thinking about things differently. And I'm only here for another minute, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to get to everybody's questions. I will say this, that if you want me to answer your question, get on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. Tomorrow night, I'm not doing a TikTok live, but what I'm doing is a live group Zoom just for people on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. Get on the list, show up on the Zoom, ask me your question in person. So much easier than typing, and I can ask you back and forth. That's all coaching does, is gets you from where you are to where you want to be so much quicker than making it more difficult, okay? So notice this stuff, okay? Yep. breaking, we're all on this journey together. Okay. Yeah, you could, if you know that giving away is your stumbling block because you don't do it, then throw it away. However, before you get to that, this is where I would just say, why is it a stumbling block for you to get rid of, to throw it away? Before you do that, just go through the thought process and examine where your thoughts are holding you back and where your thoughts are making you do something or helping you do something you feel good at. Okay? Yeah, everybody's got their own things. So much good stuff going on here. So much good stuff. Yep, I can't thrift. I used to thrift. I don't need anything anymore. I don't want anything. I love the quality and quantity of items that I have in my home. I love where they are. I love so much about it that I just don't feel the need. I'll go and look at stuff, but it doesn't even bring me joy. It's kind of like meh. And for decades, people, I used to be thrilled to go to, one of the reasons we moved to our town was because it had thrift stores and antique stores and things like that. Now I'm in a different part of my life. That used to be fun for a while. And when it stops being fun, when it starts to be heavy, this is when you stop and you say, wait a minute, I'm going to do something different because I don't want to spend the rest of my life feeling weighed down by this stuff. Okay? So notice that. All right, Patty is asking, please say your site again. Yes, Destination Decluttered. You'll see it on my TikTok page here. First thing to do, easy peasy. I'm going to sign off in like a minute. You go to my TikTok page, Destination Decluttered. Follow that so you are notified when I do other TikTok lives. I schedule some. I pop up too. Also, there is a link on the top of my TikTok page that links you to different things. That goes to a page where you can sign up for the mailing list, get on my, do a schedule, all sorts of things, okay? DestinationDecluttered.com. Every little bit. Elaine, Doom Piles are didn't organize, only moved. And boy, can you tell, if I didn't watch it, I would be here for hours talking and helping you with decluttering. But I think one of the most powerful things I can do is stop what I'm doing right now so you can sit with yourself and say, okay, here's where I am. That's where I want to be. Can I do it alone? If yes, go for it. Do as much as you can by yourself. But when you get stuck, do not be afraid to ask for help. That fear will keep you stuck. Getting help is like being stuck with a flat tire. Call somebody who can help you with a flat tire and then get to where you want to go to. So you're just hanging out in a home and a life that looks and feels and functions just like you want it to. Okay? I'm going to head out. Going to do some stuff. And I don't know. When's my next TikTok live? Here, let me take a look here. Friday, I think. Friday, 12:30. I've got one. I may do some TikTok lives over the weekend too. Just let you know. All right. I'll see everybody on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern for the TikTok live. If you're interested, if you just tuned into this and you want to look at a recording of this or all of my other Destination Decluttered TikTok videos, they are on Destination Decluttered on YouTube, okay? And if you know somebody who is struggling with clutter and they don't know about me, spread the word, okay? Awesome, friends. I will see you anon, all right? Stay warm, stay dry, and live a life you love.